Hello, this is Simone from Royal Blossoms. This is my update and my journey on my American Pillar Arborvitae. As you can see here, I started with a blank slate, brought in 10 yards of dirt, and placed it along the fence, which was new. I planted some catmints in there, and then I ordered my plants from Great Garden Plants. And as you can see them here, that's when they came in and how they look. They were about a foot and a half, almost 2 feet, and this is when I planted them. That was October 20th of 2022. I've since then widened the beds and staked them a year later, and here they are where I was widening the beds, and after that I staked them. I also ran a water line, and this is when I did my initial video, which was June of 2022, a year later. And here we are today, which is April 23rd, 2024. The first video was 23, sorry, and this is April 2024 this year. So I wanted to show how well they've done over the winter, and they have grown. A lot of them are almost the height of the fence, almost as tall as I am, and I'm 5'4". So this is me showing them. The two in the very corners, like the one in the very corner there next to the green giant arborvitaes, that one you can barely see it, but it is growing, but it's taking its time. And I noticed the ones in the ends are not growing as fast as the others. I guess it's limited sun. So I would show that one in the corner there. I don't know if you see it, but here they are. This one is tall, and they're all growing very well. And I decided to come out in spring and show the video. This winter, I did notice the tips of them getting dry, as though they were dying out or drying out. And I left them alone, and since then the tips came right back. So I'm glad I didn't cut the tips or anything like that, or try to cut the dead parts off, because it did come back. And my advice is, if you see anything looking dry or black or brown, or it looks like it's shriveling up, leave it alone. When the soil thaws out, then you can water it again. And I've done my watering schedule. That one's really small over there. And I've done my watering schedule based on Plants Addicts. Hey, they tell you it's called Plant Addict. They show you how to water your plants based on the plants that you have. And I'll link that in the description, but I've got so many questions that I've had to answer. I will do a video on how I stake them, but right now I just want to show the progress of the plants, and that's what I'm showing. All of them are doing well. And I don't know if it's because I ran the soaker hose in. I've fertilized them last year in the spring. This year spring, I plan to fertilize them again. I use Hollytone on my arborvitaes, but you can use whatever you want, and I'll show that as well. I'll probably put a link for it online, or just a picture of it to show the Hollytone fertilizer. Now is the time to put it on before they really start putting on growth. So I'll do that pretty soon, maybe this week. I'll put the Hollytone down. But look at how tall these trees have grown, guys. They've really gotten really tall. They put on a lot of height. Also, I wanted to say that I did plant them 2 feet away from the fence, and they're about 3.5 feet apart from each other. I know it's close to the tree here, but I did make a berm. I did put soil on top of that so that the roots can grow in there. The roots are not going to be that deep, but this is my update to show. As you can see in the pictures at the beginning of the video, when I put the stakes in, you can see the top of the stake. And I don't know if you can see here where the stakes are in at this point, but they've way past the top of the stakes, as well as they're filling in really well at the bottom. And I don't know if that's because I stake them up, if I give them water, but you can see from when I first got the plants that they were not this full. And here I'm showing to the top of where it is. I made notes to try and answer everybody's questions here, but they're planted, like I said, about 3 feet apart, and about 2 feet from the fence. Another person asked me why a fence and the trees I've had issues with my neighbors trying to encroach on my land. They were planting stuff, and if I planted stuff, it miraculously died. So I couldn't put anything there. So there was nothing there that I put, but then I had the neighbors' plants coming over. So I had a surveyor come out and survey that, and then I decided to put the fence level, and at the bottom where there was a space, that's where I created a little retaining wall out of some stones and bricks and boulders from around the yard that I had. I didn't go out and buy anything. And once that was secured, I poured the dirt in and put the dirt on top of that. So to answer that question, why, the overkill with the fence and the trees, that's because of it was beginning to be a neighbor's feud, and I didn't want to fight with my neighbors, so I just had the surveyor come. I hired the guy to do the fence to make sure it was not over the line, and I left 3 inches in the back of the fence of my property, and then I put it on. I could only go 6 feet, but in my town, you didn't need a permit for a fence, and you're allowed to have a retaining wall of 4 feet, and you can put a 6-foot fence on top of that. So in some areas, it's about 2 feet off the ground, and in the other area it's right on the ground, and that's because the land was a little bit uneven. So I was able to level things up by doing this as well. But you can check with your local codes if you're having that issue. Fences make great neighbors, and the arborvitaes make a very great privacy backdrop that's all green all year, and that's the reason why. And I wanted to have a new garden bed. But this is my 1 year, almost a year update, because my last video was from June of 2023. I think I said 2022, but that video was June of 2023, and this is how they're doing now. I found that at the end of 2023, they had put on a lot of growth, and this is the growth from last year. So this year, at the end of the season, what I might do is show a video of how much they've grown just this year alone. Because if you see in my video, I had pictures of 2022 when I did the stakes, I think it was, and you'd see from the video when I did the video with the plants, that was June of 23. So at the end of the season, after they've grown, sorry about my dog, after they've grown all summer long, I think I'll do a video on the anniversary of when they were first planted in October, because by then you will really see how much they've put on during the growing season. I'm gonna fertilize them, and I'm gonna keep watering them like I have been, and I will show how much they've grown. I'm trying to answer all the questions. I did answer some of the questions in the comments. Someone mentioned that their trees didn't do so well. My suggestion would be to stake them so that they stand up straight and the wind wouldn't be flopping them around and the snow wouldn't be pushing them down. Another thing, when it snowed here, I did go out and shake the snow off of them, which we didn't have much snow this winter, but the winter when they were flattened down to the ground, I did shake the snow off, and I really sort of obsessed over them. So I hope I answered all of the questions. Keep leaving the comments on what you would like to see me do next, and I'll try my best to have a video showing, answering the questions and showing what I have done. And those trees that you see on the side, those were green giant arborvitaes that I have. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.